Hey adventurers, today is going to be another Poetry Thursday. This is The Man on the Moon Stayed Up Too Late by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is actually one of his really famous poems from The Lord of the Rings, and I wasn't really planning on doing a whole lot of poetry from The Lord of the Rings as much as I love it, but I wanted for my Poetry Thursdays to be these other poems. But then Liam from Liam's Lyceum mentioned something or did a video about something. Forget what it was. I think he did a Poetry Thursday video that was a Tolkien poem. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to, since I'm rereading Lord of the Rings right now, I'm gonna have to do some Poetry Thursdays from Lord of the Rings as well. So this was actually one of the ones that I loved the most when I first read Lord of the Rings because of what it implied for Earth. If you don't know, Tolkien kind of wrote The Lord of the Rings as a history of Earth, not a history, but a fairy tale, a myth that was for Earth, because there was really no mythologies, no fairy tales, I guess, for England, Great Britain, that the British Isles, in the same way there was for like Egypt or Greece or Rome or anything like that. And so he wanted this to be like that great, there's King Arthur, but other than that there wasn't a whole lot, and so he wanted to have this great history, this fairy tale myth type thing that was basically the history of Great Britain. And so when he wrote these books, that was kind of what he had in mind. And this poem, you will see some of it because some of the poems that we know, some of the nursery rhymes that we know, are tied into this poem. And so I don't know, I really love that. And so when I read that the first time, it really made me love this poem even more. And then rereading it again this time, I ended up just realizing how much I love this poem and how well it flows and everything. So I'll see if I can read it and do it justice. We will see, I don't know that I can. But this is The Man on the Moon Stayed Up Too Late by J.R.R. Tolkien. There is an inn, a merry old inn, beneath an old grey hill, and there they brew a beer so brown that the man in the moon himself came down one night to drink his fill. The ostler has a tipsy cat that plays a five-string fiddle, and up and down he runs his bow, now squeaking high, now purring low, now sawing in the middle. The landlord keeps a little dog that is mighty fond of jokes. When there's good cheer among the guests, he cocks an ear at all the jests and laughs until he chokes. They also keep a horned cow, as proud as any queen, but music turns her head like ale and makes her wave her tufted tail and dance upon the green. And oh, the rows of silver dishes and the store of silver spoons, for Sunday there's a special pair, and these they polish up with care on Saturday afternoons. The man in the moon was drinking deep, and the cat began to wail. A dish and a spoon on the table danced, and the cow in the garden madly pranced, and the little dog chased his tail. The man in the moon took another mug, and then rolled beneath his chair, and there he dozed and dreamed of ale, till in the sky the stars were pale, and dawn was in the air. Then the ostler said to his tipsy cat, the white horses of the moon, they neigh and champ their silver bits, but their master's been and drowned his wits, and the sun'll be rising soon. So the cat on his fiddle played, hey diddle diddle, a jig that would wake the dead. He squeaked and he sawed and he quickened the tune, while the landlord shook the man in the moon. It's after 3, he said. They rolled the man slowly up the hill, and bundled him into the moon, while his horses galloped up in rear, and the cow came capering like a deer, and a dish ran up with the spoon. Now quicker the fiddle went deedle-dum-diddle, the dog began to roar, the cow and the horses stood on their heads, the guests all bounded from their beds and danced upon the floor. With a ping and a pong the fiddle string broke, the cow jumped over the moon, the little dog laughed to see such fun, and the Saturday dish went off at a run with a silver Sunday spoon. The round moon rolled behind it the hill as the sun raised up her head. She hardly believed her fiery eyes, for though it was day, to her surprise, they all went back to bed. So this one, of course, is a poem that is written in world by Bilbo, and is a song that the hobbits sing and dance to at the Prancing Pony Inn. And so it is in the movies a little bit, I think it is in the movies, or a version of it, a cut down version of it or whatever, but it does have a tune to it. And as you can see by listening and reading the poem, it is basically a longer version of Hey Diddle Diddle, the Cat and the Fiddle, that nursery rhyme. And so that aspect of it, I really loved it. It's the same thing with how Tolkien said that the game of golf was invented, where the Bolror swung his club at the goblin, and the goblin's head flew off and flew however many yards and down into a rabbit hole, and thus the battle was won and the game of golf invented at the same time. So the way he ties these two, our world that we know and this Middle Earth together, is very interesting to me, and I really, really love that. And so seeing that also in this Hated a Little, or the Man on the Moon Stayed Up Too Late, seeing those two things tied together as well is just really fun for me. And I love this poem, and I love the tune that they wrote for it for the movies. It doesn't quite fit perfectly with the poem because the poem's longer, it has more stuff in it, but it's still really fun and I really enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this Poetry Thursday. I hope I managed to not stumble too badly through this video, and specifically through the poem. Hopefully in editing I can fix any mistakes that I might have made. We post videos every Monday and Thursday, and our social media is linked in the description down below. Thanks for watching. Stay warm.